care here on The Source. Of course you do.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala. Damage control. Damage control. Damage control.
All right, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Joe Reichel is in the studio. The show is called Damage Control, and that's kind of appropriate because Joe is one of the owners of Damage Control Services. They fix homes when they're damaged, and that damage could be really severe. Every once in a while, you'll post something on Facebook, and it illustrates the work that you are doing out there. And, of course, if you have a smaller project and you want some do-it-yourself help, Joe is here to answer those questions as well. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am doing wonderful. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
So there was another tree on another house?
Friday afternoon we had a tree, or Friday morning I guess it was, tree fell on a house from the storms that we had come through. So, and I was talking with a tree guy, and we were talking about the number of storms, trees on homes that we had this past year versus the year before. The year before, we had a considerably large amount of trees on homes. This past year, we only had a few, and he had the same experience. So what that means is, as the spring storms come through and all of the pop-up storms that we typically get in, this area in the spring and early summer, a lot of them had caused trees to come down the year before. So now those
colder or whatever.
No, not necessarily colder. Just the storms had caused called.
Yeah, cold.
Called the weaker trees out. Sure.
That's what I meant.
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
So it's very possible this year going into. Because that storm on Thursday night, Friday morning was not that bad.
No.
For a tree to fall on a home. Right. Make sure. I guess the point of this is going into this spring and summer. Make sure that your trees are in the best shape possible. So have someone come out, that's an arborist, have them come out and look at your trees, make sure that they're cleaned up and what needs, if anything, needs to be trimmed, make sure you have it done as far as limbs and trees that are leaning towards your house or other buildings and whatnot.
So we met a lady who's a fan of your show.
Awesome. I like fans.
At the Therapeutic Writing Association, Robin and I went out and did one of our things for the Literacy Council.
Awesome. Thank you.
So when she found out that we were at the station, she found out I'm the voice that you don't see when you're talking.
Do I need to spin the camera around?
No, it's okay.
We can see Larry.
But anyway, so she said this is not a normal question, but could you ask Joe to talk about outdoor upgrade ideas? I know this is not normally what you do.
Okay.
Outdoor things, just to upgrade a backyard or something.
Outdoor upgrades. I love outdoor upgrades.
Yeah? Like a deck? What would you picture?
You could do anything. Outdoors, you've got decks, back entryways, enhance the back entryway of your home, like with a deck. There's all types of landscape features that you could do, and that would be, you could get a landscape architect if you wanted to go that far, or someone that did that, like a landscape professional, to just create a visual appearance, a pleasing visual appearance in the backyard. Yeah. You can do fire pits and sitting areas. You can do
that sounds nice.
Pergolas and
what's that?
A pergola is a freestanding, sort of like a gazebo, but yet it's just typically 4 posts, and they've got the beams that come across. A lot of times vegetation's growing on them.
Okay, no roof. It just looks. It's like
the best way I could describe, no roof. There's no roof, and it would be best to describe it like a grape arbor.
Oh, okay.
Does that kind of visual? But it's
that sounds nice.
A lot larger.
Yeah.
A lot of times, and especially down here with the Confederate jasmine, people will plant that alongside around it, so it climbs up the posts and across the top, and is really, to me, that's a a beautiful backyard feature.
Do you know I used that Confederate jasmine to hide damage done to my shed? I don't know if I ever told you this. A large, very large tree narrowly missed my home, but took out one wall of the shed.
Okay.
And so, because I don't have your skills,
Okay.
I tacked in some little pieces of wood just to make it look better, and it still didn't look better. So the gardening lady,
Carol Ann?
Actually, it was the lady before Carol Ann, so that's how long ago it was. She recommended the jasmine. Her name is Suzanne. Do you know Suzanne Shepard?
I don't.
From the Discovery Center?
I don't.
But anyway, so she recommended it, and boy, it work. It's covered. You can't tell that it was damaged unless you're on the inside of the shed. Then you can see all the.
Well, Confederate jasmine is a great cover, a great source of vegetation for cover like that.
Yeah.
So, and it smells incredibly beautiful.
It does. It does.
That is one of my favorite scents. Good morning.
It's just so when you clip it and you try to mulch it with the lawnmower, it's very tough.
I don't think you're supposed to mulch it with the lawnmower.
It's very tough fiber, whatever it is. So.
Right.
So I'm always amazed when you post photos of some horrendous damage.
Mm-hmm.
A, you know that the family must have moved out. Like, how can you live in a house with a big tree on it like that?
Well, here's the neat thing about that.
That particular one?
That particular one. I didn't post a picture of the roof. I kind of forgot to do that after when it was tarped in. But the nice thing about that disaster on Friday, and it was on my Facebook page, the only damage is the exterior of the house. There's no interior damage.
Oh, that is wonderful.
It's great.
So
news.
they can stay in there.
Yes, they're still living there.
Wow.
They didn't have to move out.
That is really good news.
Great news.
But
great news for them.
But the repairs itself will take about how long?
And I really don't know because,
Right.
I don't know. I'm not sure that job familiar with the insurance, the type of insurance they've got
you have
on
to
it.
wait for that.
But once a scope of work is determined, it could be a matter of 2 weeks, and that job could be all done.
Gosh, that's not too bad.
No, but working through the insurance process. And
Is there
all
enough
that.
money from the insurance to pay for it to actually remove other trees that might fall later on as a preventive
Well,
measure?
your insurance won't pay for that.
They won't.
No.
Okay. I just thought maybe as a some medical insurance pays for preventive things.
No, there's nowhere on a home insurance policy to cover something like that. But they could tell you that you need to remove trees in order to be insured, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. That does make sense. Yeah.
Just like, in order to have your policy reestablished, sometimes you have to put a new roof on or something like that.
That makes sense from the insurance company's point of view. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe Reichel.
Yeah, good morning, Joe. Larry.
Good
Hey.
morning.
Talking about trees and that people have to be aware, if you have like a large tree located on your lot where you have a septic and a drain field, that what they always call the drip line on a tree when it reaches out, those roots are going to be beyond that in the ground, and that could invade your drain, your septic and your drain field. And I've seen it happen in my neighborhood here where a tree actually took over the drain field and the septic more, and they had to take the whole tree out and then start from scratch. So people have to be aware of the fact that these large trees can be very invasive.
Yes, for sure. And that's, knowing that when you're putting in a septic or putting in the drain field, knowing as far as where it's going, and then planting around that as far as you plant a tree and it's only, 6 feet tall or however big whenever you plant that. But then as it gets older, you're dealing with a rather large tree that is a good source of shade and whatnot for your home, but at the same time, you're causing problems elsewhere. So it's a great reminder there.
Right. My home was built in 1990, and I moved in here in 2000. And the people that had built the home, they planted trees everywhere. And they were, the average tree at that point probably was maybe 10, 12 foot at the most. And I've taken out over a dozen trees on this property because it turned into a forest here.
Right.
I was having trouble with gutters, and I was having trouble with leaves in the pool area, and then my drain field, and I couldn't grow grass because there was too much shade and leaves. So it was just unbelievable how a person 10, 15, 20 years down the road, what a tree's going to look like is 10, 15 times bigger than what it is when you plant it.
For sure. And that's a great reminder, too, as far as your gutters and whatnot, making sure that those are cleaned out because, we are just going into the spring, but before we know it, we're going to be right in the middle of hurricane season here soon. So, and you never know when one of those storms might come up. So, being ready for that.
The very popular tree down there is those oak trees, and they've got those small leaves, and boy, they can jam a gutter up like nobody's business. I mean, they get down into the what you call it, where it goes out, and the downspout. I never seen it so clogged like that.
Right.
I stuck a hose down, and it took me half a day just to clean a couple of them.
Yep. Yeah, it doesn't take long with all those leaves to accumulate in there, and especially because they are smaller, they're able to go in places, and then they get packed up together, and it does create a definite problem.
Right. Okay, well, I enjoy your program, and thank you very much.
Excellent. Thanks for the calls.
You bet.
All right, we need to take a little break. We'll be right back. If you have a question for Joe Reichel, this is a great time to call. The number is 622-9622. If you call right now, you'll be on hold just about 2.5 minutes. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. A nice day today with sunshine and some clouds and a high of 79 to 83. Tonight will be mainly clear, low 59 to 63. Tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sunshine, the high again 79 to 83. A mix of sun and clouds on tap for Thursday, the high again between 79 and 83. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Whether you're building it up or knocking it down, get it done, rent it now. Sunbelt Rentals is here to make your job a little easier. Our knowledgeable staff will help you find the right equipment for any job, big or small. Did you know that Sunbelt Rentals carries heaters, air conditioners, generators, lighting, traffic control, and so much more? So whether you're building it up or knocking it down, we've got the equipment you need. Get it done, rent it now. And right now, for a limited time, you can have it for less. Just by mentioning this ad, if you rent it Friday afternoon, you can keep it the whole weekend and only pay for one day. But this is a limited time offer, so stop into Sunbelt Rentals today, Northwest 27th, just a quarter mile east of I-75. For more information, just give us a call, 352-369-9101. 352-369-9101. Sunbelt Rentals. Get it done, rent it now. 352-369-9101.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my
too.
seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line and a new spoiler and a new
Yep,
trunk.
we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Yes, we are your friends here at WOCA. Joe Reichel is one of our friends, and he is one of your friends, and he's here right now to answer your questions about your home repairs. Whether you're doing it yourself or if you need a professional. And the professionals that I know are named Joe Reichel, Mike Sobieski, and Rob Sobieski.
That's right. Those are my brother-in-laws, and we're the three owners of Damage Control Services. So fires, floods, storm, tree damage, new additions, remodels.
Yes.
New construction.
Yes. Oh, you went to Dave Schlenker's thing and did this photo for the Literacy Council?
Yep.
And he was saying that the floor used to be, higher, like maybe a foot and a half higher or maybe a foot higher.
Okay.
You know how it's like
it's sunken in?
It's like half a basement or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's kind of cool.
Very cool.
So either it was used for something else or the people who lived there were really short.
I don't know. It might not have been an active.
Yeah, it might have been like
just for storage or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a really cool studio that he's got there.
Very nice, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But and I asked him about this. I said, "Does it ever flood in here?" And he said it has. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure just because of the elevation and the way that.
Yeah, because it's lower than
you step down into it.
Right.
So, and that's where.
Where's your picture? That was a cool picture of you. He was a cowboy picture you did.
I did.
Or did you do more than one?
Several.
Oh, you did?
I think I ended up with 7 total pictures.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I did an old time picture with my grandfather's pocket watch.
I saw that one. That was wonderful. Yeah.
A year ago today, he passed away.
Is that right?
Yep.
Oh man, that's kind of sad.
Yeah. So I did a picture with that, and then I did a picture with Grandpa's shotgun with a cowboy hat.
Oh, I saw that. That was your
Western.
grandfather's shotgun too?
Yeah, Western look.
Oh wow.
So.
Were he and Jim nervous when you showed up with a weapon?
It was kind of funny. They're like, "Oh my, you're bringing props." I'm like, "Yeah."
We brought props. We brought musical instruments.
I want to. There's a few photo ideas that I want to do. So I've got several different.
You're a photo guy.
Yeah, I've got several different.
You're a photogenic guy, so it makes sense.
Thank you. I think.
No,
I've got a few different throwbacks of pictures of other pictures that I want to recreate someday.
And is everybody imitating Steve Jobs? I mean,
Not imitating me. No, that was a whole photo shoot that Tammy Vincent Griffin, Tammy portrait artist.
Okay.
She did that as a fundraiser for the
and that's who I'm thinking of.
Marion
Steve
Culture
Jobs?
Alliance. Yes.
Okay.
That was a tribute to the photographer that took that picture.
Oh, okay.
So she did a whole series. I think there was. On display at the Brick downtown, there was 60-some different pictures. So 60 different people took pictures.
It's a creative idea, too.
It was great.
Yeah.
And then you could purchase that picture as a donation to the Marion Cultural Alliance.
So
that Steve Jobs post, that was...
The Steve Jobs, yeah.
The Steve Jobs picture is what it's known as.
Yeah. You have to wonder how something becomes famous. Okay, so...
You get the right person to do it.
So you put a picture on the wall. You have that hole in the wall from where it hung.
Yes.
How do you fix the hole?
Well, that's very simple. I mean, are we talking less than a pencil size?
I guess.
Or a nail size?
The normal hole, from a nail.
Well, the thing that a lot of people say is toothpaste, which will work because it'll harden.
But you actually like that idea.
Well, I mean, it's something that the homeowners can do, and it's fairly simple. But it's also just as easy to go to any of the hardware stores and buy a drywall patch. They come in a little container this big, or you can get them in a bigger or a 20-pound bag that you can mix up.
Is it like a Band-Aid?
It is just like a paste.
Oh, a paste. Okay.
So depending on, and this is a little bit of tip for you as far as patching something like that. If a lot of times people will use they call it a spackling knife, which is just a flat blade that's used for patching drywall. A lot of times they'll take that and they'll dab a little on it and then smear it on the hole. If you have a smooth texture, that's fine. To just smear it on it. But if you have a wall that is a rough surface, just put a little bit on the corner of that knife and smear it in the hole. And that way you're not ending up with filling in more voids than just that one. You just get that little spot. If that's making sense. Because a lot of times you can see if somebody's patched a wall, you can see the broad smear. Yeah.
It's an overkill, right?
It's an overkill.
Yeah. And
aesthetically unpleasing.
And if there is wallpaper on the wall and you patch it like that, does that cause a problem? Because now you have some patching material over wallpaper.
It could create a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to...
Only if it's overkill.
Only if it's overkill. I mean, if you're just putting a little bit in that wallpaper...
Probably not a big
But see, here again, a lot of times people will take that wallpaper and they'll paint over it or something, and it's it's not necessarily meant to be done like that. You have to take that off to paint, if you're wanting to paint the wall.
Because eventually it would peel off.
It could peel, it could separate.
All that painting for nothing.
Right. But, I mean, a lot of times people will do that but there's several steps that you've got to go through to do that. The glue on the back of the wallpaper will stick to the wall. Even if you can peel the wallpaper off, the glue still sticks there. It sticks to the drywall, so you'll have to wash that wall down in order to get all that glue off, and then you'll be able to paint it.
If somebody was thinking of remodeling their home by knocking down a wall, there are certain walls you can't knock down because they're actually supporting the roof.
They
right?
could be a load-bearing wall. Is what
That's
that would
what
be
it's called. Okay, so how do you know which is the good wall? Which walls you can take down and which walls you can't?
Well,
you would know, but how would a do-it-yourselfer? Would you recommend they don't do this project?
Well, a do-it-yourselfer, I mean, you're looking at a lot of work. And here's the reason why. Whatever wall you take down, you'll need to get rid of or replace or patch the flooring where that wall used to be. As far as making that match, you'll need to patch the drywall. You'll need to cap off whatever electrical is in that wall, if there is any, and also, making sure that that's done properly, so you're not going to have a fire in the future.
Yeah, really.
So, it's not that it's not possible or that a homeowner couldn't do it, but these are things that they would have to, or you would have to make sure of. To find out if it's load-bearing, you have to look at the direction of your roof system and determine which walls might be supporting that roof system. So if you have trusses, it would be different than if you had like conventional framing, where it probably would be used for conventional framing, a roof system. That being the case, you'd have to get up into the attic and actually look.
Oh, really?
Push the insulation back and look to see if it's supporting or used as support.
Oh, wow. Okay. So there are do-it-yourselfers, and then there are do-it-yourselfers. There are some people more experienced than others.
Oh, yeah.
Who,
of course,
don't do it for a living like you do, but maybe they've got some experience.
It's a matter of calling in the people that can do it and, make sure that they know what they're looking at. As far as if you need an electrician to come in and remove wiring, cap it off, and.
Do you ever get called on just to demolish something like an old garage or an old shed or?
Yes, we've got projects where we've gone in and just cleaned up.
No rebuilding is necessary.
No, we've got not too long ago we got a referral from an insurance agent. They had a client who needed some cleanup done to their property in order to be able to have it reinsured, in order to get reinsured. So we went in and basically did a cleanup for them.
I remember helping my dad take down a tool shed. So he was putting up a new one, and the whole roof was still up there, but there were hardly any. There was hardly anything holding it up there. I was so worried it was going to fall down while he was in there.
Right.
Ay.
As far as it was like termite damage?
No. He just wanted to tear it down and put up a new one. But we had torn down almost everything, and the roof was still up there. There was just a couple of pieces of wood holding it up there.
Yeah, you probably should have started with the roof first.
Well,
or did you just knock it down at that point?
I don't even remember, but I remember it was such a mess. He had ordered one of those gigantic dumpsters, to throw it in, and we filled it up.
A construction dumpster?
Literally filled it up, with this, which didn't seem like a big piece of. It didn't seem like the shed had that much wood in it, but it did.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And that's where a lot of times, people. That's something that is easily underestimated as far as how much debris you're going to have. Looked at a project this weekend as far as doing some tile demolition and then putting new tile back in, and the homeowner said, well, what if I do the demolition and then I'm like, okay, but you've also got all of this then to dispose. You got to get rid of it
like
all.
We did here.
Exactly. So unless you have a dumpster that you can put it in, unless you have a dumpster that you can put it in or some place to get rid of it, it's going to take you a while of just putting it out at the roadside.
I know.
Time's up already. This is the fastest half hour of my week.
Clock goes fast, I know. It just happens.
So if you have any other questions that I can help you with, feel free to call me, 352-817-6574, or email me directly, joe@damageflorida.com.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
We'll take a little break. We'll be right back. Call us if you need Joe's number repeated. We'll be glad to do that. Or go online and check out the videos that we make for these shows on the WOCA YouTube channel. Thank you, Joe.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The fight over religious objection proposals shifts to Arkansas, poised to become the second state this year to enact such a measure. The first, Indiana, coming under fire by critics who say its SB 101 law opens the door for businesses to discriminate against gays, something that Indiana Governor Mike Pence denies, telling Fox News.
I can tell you from my heart, if I was in a restaurant and saw a business owner deny services to someone because they were gay, I wouldn't eat there anymore.
The governor hoping to clarify the act at a news conference this morning.
Democrats are calling for its repeal. The law doesn't take effect until July 1st, but it's already hurting Indiana.
Fox's Kelly Wright. The U.S. formally submitting a climate change plan to the UN, pledging to cut emissions by 26 to 28% by 2025 and